town you never heard of. Hey everybody, welcome to the Common Folk Podcast with Ben, Morgan, and Andy.
Welcome back to Common Folk.
Let's go. Podcast for the people, by the people.
Here we go again.
Yeah, it's been a while, and Happy New Year.
Yeah, Happy New Year and getting
First pod of the 2026.
First real pod of 2026.
Yeah,
right?
exactly.
Yeah.
Like,
well, I mean, you guys were like at DEF CON 5, you know, with your business and the holidays. And was it more hectic this year? Because I felt you guys were like swamped. You're always swamped in November, December on.
Yeah.
But I felt like you guys were really swamped this year.
Yeah, I haven't reviewed all the numbers yet, but I think, like you said, it definitely felt like there was a lot more. We ran a little bit less additional help this year, so that added to it.
Well, and you also had a pretty cool like giveaway or raffle with a couple of your
Yep, we did that
brands.
ATV giveaway with Millennial Farmer, so that fired up a lot of stuff a little bit earlier than normal.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean it's good to be busy.
Yeah.
You know?
Right. Yeah. You're not going to complain about it.
Right.
Right.
Absolutely. And yeah, like I said, I think it was a little bit better than last year, which is a good sign. Overall, I think the year was not as good as 2024, but the holiday season was. You know, we're seeing some uptick in the holiday season.
That's
so
good.
Yeah, there's some signs of life there. In the online retail space.
Yeah. Well,
by the way, farmfocused.com. Go check it out. Use code CommonFolk. Get some gear, some shirts, some hats, all the cool stuff. We might have coffee coming back too. We're working on that right now.
Good. I actually had a coffee company reach out to our show.
Really?
And wanted to be an affiliate with us.
Maybe we need to talk to them.
I'll have to show it to you. Yeah, it's like a heart healthy type of a coffee.
Interesting.
Okay.
Yeah.
Interesting.
well, Ben's kind of on a coffee kick, so
Oh, really?
not a kick. That sounds so lame. You really enjoy coffee.
I'm definitely liking coffee more and more, and especially it's kind of it plays into what we're going to talk about today. Especially not drinking beer. I did like the different kinds of beers. I like to grab a 6-pack of some random whatever it was, and try it. And so that's kind of like where I'm at with coffee now is
Trying new.
like learning about all the different kinds
Ooh,
and the beans and how they roast and all sorts. And I have no freaking clue at this point.
Yeah.
But this year I want to learn more about it.
And we got a new coffee pot.
Yep, we did for Christmas. We got a new one that
was our family
a little bit
present.
better. Yep.
Okay.
Yeah, like no plastic, just
Oh, right on. All right.
good
Yeah.
raw brew.
Yeah.
What do they call it? A drip on the coffee with the.
It's a
Percolator. The percolator.
We don't even have the
You
right
guys are
words.
percolating.
It's your standard drip coffee
Yeah.
style, right?
Yeah.
But it's just kind of a cool machine.
It is cool. Yeah.
Nice.
So yeah, I definitely this year I want to learn more about that. But we've had the blueberry pecan farm focus coffee
love
in the
that
past.
coffee, yeah.
And it's that it goes over so well. And we've got people emailing us, when are you getting it back? You know, the roaster we used is no longer. Mm-hmm. So we're trying to find another one.
Oh, so maybe this is like serendipitous. Like we're starting off 2026 right. This company reached out to the common folk.
Right.
And here you're getting into coffee. All
Yeah.
right. And we're
So-
looking for, all right. Okay. I'll have to forward this on.
We
Yeah.
might have to give them a shot and see what's up.
Okay,
There is
cool.
one other company in Texas that I've been talking to. I think they're called U.S. Roast or something along those lines. But I think it's a veteran-owned deal. But either way, they've done a couple samples for us. We're trying to dial some things in and learn about this different stuff. So,
Well, and it's not like we have to box ourselves into just one supplier or one, brand or label or.
No, you don't.
Right,
Again,
yeah.
you
Yep.
don't do that with other drinks.
Yeah.
So like,
Yeah.
right.
Okay. Well,
no,
cool.
we're just going to find out what's the best, right? And then we're
Yeah.
going to start telling people about it.
What's the best?
Yeah, that's how it works.
Well, you kind of opened the door there for what I kind of wanted to get into this year.
Mm-hmm.
And I was trying to think of a snappy, catchy title,
Yeah.
Because in order for anybody to listen to this and for us to have an impact, you got to get that click. You got to get someone to notice it. So the titles, they're kind of important. So
Yeah.
I was going to title it something where let's talk about the year and have a beer. Rhyming, rhyming is like really powerful.
Is it?
Catches on.
It is. Yes,
Yeah.
it is.
Okay.
Rhyming in, is it alliteration where you use like the same first letter?
Oh, okay.
I don't know.
Yeah, I know what you're saying. Like back in black, BB, right?
Right.
So we're like going back to Dr. Seuss?
Well,
So
I'm
alliteration,
not
it's
making up words.
repeating initial sounds.
Well, I mean, he rhymes, does he not?
Yeah, he rhymes.
Okay.
So when you like alliteration, when you have that in like a title or in a brand name, like farm focused, like that's easy to remember.
Okay.
That's part of the reason behind that. It's FF.
Beer and year.
Right.
Like, you see
that
where
rhymes.
where I was going with that?
Yeah.
So a couple articles that came my way and that I just couldn't help. I had to read them and then see some videos on it, and noticed it in a couple of our newscasts. Microbreweries are closing down at an exponential rate across the nation.
Mm-hmm.
And I think it was last year more closed than opened. And that was like the first time ever since the late 70s. You know, you're always going to have, it's a tough business, right? A lot of overhead, a lot of equipment, a lot of man hours. And that's before you even get a beer brewed, you know?
Yeah.
So obviously there's going to be turnover. It's not immune to markets and everything else. But you always had more microbreweries opening than closing. And that changed last year or the year before.
Huh.
So.
And you're going to be able to tell us why? Or are we going to talk about what we think?
There's conflicting ideas, but I think there's 2 or 3 like core reasons for it.
I see.
And I thought we could try and dive into that and think, is there something to this, or is it just bad management, you know, or is it a weird,
What
like,
is it?
Yeah, a reverse trend? Because didn't it feel like it was kind of like a trendy thing too?
Oh,
like
for
in the
sure.
early 2000s, kind of like coffee was, you know, 25 years ago or so.
Yep.
It seemed almost, I hate to say this because it's definitely not, kind of easy. Like they had the at-home brew kits. We've talked about this.
Yeah.
We had it, and then people might have more money and they're like, oh, I could do this like bigger scale. And then, we just get this still. And, you know, like I don't know. Obviously it's not easy, but
that's to your point there, to build on that. That's the first like box that was brought up, or box that was checked as to why so many microbreweries opened up. And it started with legislation getting changed in, I think, 78 or 79 that didn't allow Budweiser and Coors to kind of corner the market.
Okay.
It kind of opened it up to hobbyists and microbreweries to allow them to just pursue it, you know, which is kind of weird. You know, we had to have our government
tell us it's okay.
Right. You know, but I mean, I'm glad they did. But on the heels of that, especially when it exploded in the late 90s, early 2000s, capital was cheap. Finding investors was so much easier, and there was a lot of money being thrown around. And it's cool.
Yeah,
you know,
right.
It's kind of fun.
Yeah, it's fun. It's different. It's cool. So like a few different things came together there, and getting a loan was so much easier back then. And you also had boomers and those types that were getting ready for retirement, that kind of worked their whole life and had all this money sitting there ready to invest or reinvest. And they thought, you know what?
Screw it.
We know a couple of people like that here in Omaha.
Right.
They're like, they retired from their day job, and what did? They opened a brewery.
Right.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know exactly when it started, but I feel like we moved back here, a little over 10 years ago. And I remember it was just before that. So I'm going to say about 10 to 15 years ago, I feel like I started seeing a lot of them.
Yeah.
And then when we moved back here, I remember seeing like some people that we knew, like opening tap rooms, you know, microbrews, whatever. And it was kind of cool. Like it gave you something to go, like something different to go do, you know, and it kind of felt like you're like part of something, like it's their, like their own brew, and you're like, you got the inside, like you're there, you're one of the people. And even some of them I remember, or probably still do today, but they would have like mugs. Like people would have their own mug, like it'd be hanging on the wall.
Yep.
You'd have to probably like drink 500 beers and then you get a mug.
Wait, you didn't bring it in? They kept it for you?
Yeah, it would like hang on the wall.
Oh.
Yeah, so you could show up.
I guess
it was
I'm
like,
not that veteran.
It was building like that that connection. I'm like, that's my
like
place.
Ownership.
Like,
okay, got it.
Yeah, look, there's my cup on the wall. Yeah, grab my cup for me.
Yeah,
you know?
yeah. And there's a bar that, I mean, they totally marketed to Ashley and I correctly because we would go in and try and do these beer tours.
Uh-huh.
And yeah, I don't know what the number was, but after you hit a certain number, you got to have your own big old metal pewter mug hanging up above the bar.
So I think I know what you're talking about, and I was just about to bring them up. Was that Old Chicago?
Exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We used to go there, but we never were that cool, Andy.
When
Dang.
you think about it, that's like really that's kind of where this started, right? I mean, because there would have been a bunch of microbrews, but Old Chicago figured out a way to kind of consolidate them all to one place.
Yeah. So I think what Old Chicago did so well is a lot of people point to like Anchor out on the West Coast brewing and like Sierra Nevada. And okay, but once you got out of that little area, you know, their distribution doesn't reach out like Coors or whatever. So Old Chicago figured out a way to get those beers on tap and then offer them as part of a flight or a straight up marketing ploy, which was just genius because I knew what was happening, but I still was like, you know what, this is kind of fun. You could drink 3 to 4 beers every time you stopped in, and there was about 20 beers on a flight. So you had to stop in 3 or 4 times to do that. And then you got a T-shirt.
Yeah. It was like,
wait,
dude,
so,
they totally...
So is Old Chicago still a restaurant? Are they still in business?
Oh, man, there's not very many of them hanging around.
Okay, and I wonder if they still do that. I think there's the one
sure
still
they do.
out off of Center. 144th and Center maybe, but
I think you're right.
Okay. Oh,
I thought that place
we might
was
have to
great.
hit that place up.
So Ashley, she had a couple of classmates that no matter when or where we were at, we would always see these guys, and they were like these regulars that was after they got off work. They didn't buy a 6-pack of beer and go home and drink it. They stopped at Old Chicago, drank their 4 beers, got their maximum points, and then went home.
Oh my gosh.
And because that's how much you could put towards your and get that mug.
Yeah.
I mean, these guys were like had their name up on the plaque, the 2000 Beer Club or something. You know, the one downtown. In downtown, this is bringing back so many memories. That's where our points went to, is the one that down on like 10th and Farnham in Omaha, Old Town. And we got a letter in the mail saying, hey, your plaque is up. So like we got on like the 500 Beer Club.
Nice.
But, my gosh.
That took like 10 years.
I'm sure.
You know, like, but
you got to go check it out and see if it's still there.
It's not. That
it's shut down.
There's been about 4 different things in there.
Okay.
But that speaks to the point. And you were hitting on it. When you moved back and you started noticing it was something cool, something to be a part of.
Okay.
It fit the millennials and millennial profiles to a T. It was different. It wasn't the norm. It wasn't your dad's beer, but you're still being social. Like I still want to go out. I still want to be part of something. Well, how cool is this? My buddy opened a brewery, and I can go, have a beer with him and flip him shit, tell him this one sucks, this one's good. You know, it checked all the boxes as to what millennials were looking for when they began to have that disposable income, the income to go out and enjoy a good beer like that.
Why is my head going to social lubricant?
Oh, that too.
Didn't he say that? You didn't hear this?
Who said that?
Dr. Oz said this on the news.
I don't really.
They've now changed the standards for drinking. It's okay for a girl to have 1 a night, and guys can have 2. And he what? You're the news guy.
I don't know,
He literally just said this. It's all over social media that he called it a social lubricant.
Well, it's kind of what it is, right?
Yeah.
Okay, there you go.
Have you ever heard of the movie Death Ride, Death Card? It's with Kurt Russell.
Oh, yeah.
No.
It was awesome.
Of course,
I know what
movie
you're
buff
talking
over
about.
here knows.
Yeah.
Quentin Tarantino movie.
Yep. Yeah, was it Death Race or something?
Yeah,
like that?
Death Race.
Something like that.
Yeah. But he doesn't drink. Kurt Russell doesn't drink in that.
Death Race is a newer one, so that's not it.
I think it's like Death Proof. That's
Death
it.
Proof.
Death Proof. Because he built
Yep,
he was
that's
he was a stunt man, and he built a car that was death proof. You could wreck it any which way and you would survive.
Okay.
And anyway, he was kind of this oddball character that he didn't drink, but he always hung out in bars. And he said, I don't need that social lubricant like others.
Okay,
So that's where I
literally
heard it.
21 hours ago, Dr. Oz calls alcohol a social lubricant.
I saw this Canadian
Just don't
fellow-
have it for breakfast. That's what he said.
What? Don't tell me what to do, Dr. Oz.
Tell me what to do.
Free country.
A mimosa is pretty damn good. Bloody Mary. No kidding.
The viral video I saw was a Canadian dude, a bigger gentleman, kind of longer hair, and he's like waddling out of out of the beer store in Canada. And they're like, well, what do you think of the new Canadian, not regulations, but their CDC recommendations? And it was like 2 beers a day. And he just goes on an all-timer type of a rant, like, that's bullshit. I mean, 2 beers, what's that going to do for a guy? I bought a 6-pack of Bud Light, Busch Light, I'm going to drink them all.
Yeah.
So that's what I thought you were going to touch on.
Oh,
there.
yeah.
That's the new viral video I saw.
Okay. All right.
The thing with like craft brews or like these small breweries and stuff, like if everybody's honest, if you really think about it, like every time you go have one of those and like a different one, or you go have 3 or 4 or whatever at the place, all it really does is just make you shit.
What?
Like it just tears you up.
Yeah. I mean,
more so,
I know of one, if you drink it and it's pretty red, you will poop red.
What?
Yeah.
I mean, I'm just saying, like, if you think
what are you
about
guys doing?
if you think
Tell
about
you
beer,
afterwards which one. I don't want to out this company.
I always thought it was kind of
It's
strange.
a good beer, but
Yeah.
Like with all the different rules and regulations that we have, that we allow just about anybody. And I know there's some stringent things you got to go through in order to open a brewery and all this, right? But in general, there's a lot that isn't either. Like it would be kind of easy to get into. To go and like basically like play with fire, like you're, at its core, you're taking these grains and yeast and all this stuff and just letting this stuff like ferment and mold and
expand
and just like and break down and just get nasty. And a lot of people are like, ooh, like they walk in like, oh, that smells so good. No, it smells like something rotting.
Yeah, but there's a sweet smell to some of it.
But we associate it with something yummy because it tastes good when we drink it.
We've
That's
told
better.
ourselves for so long.
Yes.
And I do like the taste of beer because I mean I still drink beers here and there. I drink a fair amount of NAs because I still like the taste. But when I step back and I really think about it, like if you go back to 14-year-old Andy, well, I mean, maybe you were plowing him by then, but
it was more like 11. But
Yeah.
whatever.
Okay. Okay. Whoa.
when you took that first drink of beer, or when you were first around it and the smells and all the things, you were disgusted.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And there's a reason for that. Like,
Well, it's because it's poison. It's
Again,
that's another.
it smells gross and it's not good, but for some reason it is good later in life.
although the other thing too, a parallel is that probably a lot of people, if you made that same comparison, would think that about coffee too.
Yeah,
Like when you were a kid, like
true.
the first drink of coffee or whatever, you're probably like, ugh.
Oh yeah, that's miserable.
Yeah.
Coffee. But with beer, I can buy that. That okay, these are grains breaking down and changing into something else. I can buy that, and that smells good, better than rolling up to a place and I can just smell the hog shit and they're like, oh, that's the smell of money.
Yeah.
No, that's hog shit.
Yeah.
Like I get it, but that's too much of a bridge for me.
Yeah.
I'm smelling shit. Okay.
Yeah.
So, I think a big reason why that a lot of people don't like to talk about that microbreweries are still reeling and shutting down at such a rate, I think a lot of it had to do with COVID and what happened at that time.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, you think?
I do.
Okay.
Well, that had to have just like, well, I guess the two things would happen, but one, obviously it kicked their ass in like the tap rooms and stuff.
For sure. And and just think about how important that's basically what you're selling. That's your differentiating factor is your establishment, your ambiance. And so when you're already running a tight line and you are relying on, your buddies, your friends, your neighbors, your neighborhood to come in and support you, buy a few beers, buy a flight, even though you don't necessarily want a flight of beers. But spend a couple extra bucks and support your buddy, and then also buy the overpriced plate of gourmet pretzels or what the
Right.
fuck ever.
Yeah.
You know, but that little plate of pretzels is what makes the difference and makes
Yeah.
that place be able to keep its doors open, you know, another month. Take that out the window, you know, and throw that away like COVID did, right there on the surface. Now you're in the red.
But is that really what ultimately these breweries are trying to accomplish? Or is that tap room like the secondary effect? Are they just trying to make the beer and then get it out into stores, and then they're kind of like, I need a storefront. Hopefully people come in and visit. Or do you think they intentionally wanted to open a storefront and then more people drink it, then it gets to the stores? Like, because my head went to, if someone was doing really good and it was already in the stores, alcohol sales were freaking up like crazy.
Yeah.
So then that business shouldn't have tanked.
That's a great point.
But I'm just wondering.
You also touched on something where if you look at the historical data over the last decade or so, consumption basically stayed the same with microbrews and craft beers. So, okay, why then?
Yeah.
If consumption stayed about the same, why are we seeing so many closures? And I do think the most turnkey and easiest and best way to do it, and why you kind of get into the business, is to have that pub.
Okay.
You know, now if you're a brewery and you're going into it thinking of distribution and we just want to mass produce, I think you're already setting yourself up for failure, because Anheuser-Busch is going to kick your ass.
Yeah.
You know, you gotta
start small and kind of work up.
Yeah, you gotta play to your hand, and that's the quiet little neighborhood pub that only has this beer because we're the only ones that make it.
Gotcha.
I think that's the way it is.
I would guess too, with the rise in alcohol consumption and all that, or at least the perceived, they were probably short on supplies.
Yeah.
Like
Oh,
as many
I didn't think about
microbreweries as there was,
supplies.
they were probably like,
Supply chains got screwed.
we can't
screwed
get
up.
the hops, or we can't get the grains, or whatever it is.
And think about the consumer habits, and we're getting more and more data on this. Like, that just disrupted everything. You know, I mean, whether it was going to work, not going to work, work from home. When you come home from work, just like those buddies I was talking about, Ashley's old classmates, they would go to work and then stop at Old Chicago on the way home from work. Well, what happens when you don't go to work for a half a year?
Yeah.
That's true.
Or you're working from home.
Yeah.
Like,
Your consumer habits are totally thrown out. And and on top of that, Gen Z, unlike millennials, don't care. And about being, I fucking do peptides, bruh. You know, like, it's just a different mindset, a different group of people.
Yeah.
And double back on the millennials, we're getting older. You know, I think we're on the fringe of millennials.
Yep.
And we're kind of like, we don't need to go somewhere.
We opened this show by talking about healthy coffee.
Right.
Like, Jesus Christ.
Well, I think it is two things. Like, we are getting older, so we're trying to be healthier, like you said, like Gen Z. And going back to older, we don't really want to go somewhere else. Like, you can just get it and drink at home with your people in the garage, or I don't know, save money, or I don't know. So
you get to talking about it, there's a lot of dominoes stacked against microbreweries.
Yeah, there is.
And just think of all the things that have to go into place. Ben, you were touching on it. Like, you're adding all these ingredients, you're fermenting things.
Right.
You know, like,
there's a lot going on there.
Yeah, there's a lot going on, and all the equipment that's needed for that. I mean, it's a tall order.
Yeah, no doubt. If you Google it real quick, like the AI search says that it's definitely going down 24, 25, big, drastic decreases. It says due to things like ingredient costs, labor, rent, shifting consumer habits, which you've touched on. People drinking at home, younger generations drinking less, intense competition. I think you bring up a great point with the millennial thing. I mean, folks our age looking at alternatives.
Yeah.
And at a minimum, not drinking as much.
No, I just can't drink 4 craft beers.
Yeah.
Monday, then Wednesday, then maybe Friday. I can't do it. And plus I don't want to spend my money that way anymore.
Yeah, right.
So.
It's not a thing. But we actually were talking about this with our daughter yesterday. I mean, but you had even asked her, do you think college, 20-year-olds are just drinking less? And she was like, no. They're not
Really?
where I'm at school.
Yeah.
No. So interesting.
Yeah.
Maybe it's also the circle you're running in, or I mean, she also works at a bar. She serves, so they're not seeing a hit. You know.
Also, she goes to the University of Nebraska, which I should Google and see where they rank on the amount of alcohol
number
consumed.
one.
Hey, tip of the cap to football.
Yeah, because the stadium now.
Well,
can drink.
This was the first year of having beer sales, and a craft brewery right down the street, Cross Strand.
Okay.
Got their Herbie Husker beer on the shelves at Memorial Stadium. First couple of games, beer sales didn't do very well, and everybody was sweating it because that was
Really?
Yeah, because it was going to take an X amount to kind of pay for itself and make it worth everybody's while. Well, then about midseason, we had a night game, and then we had another primetime kickoff, and shot through the roof, and we ended up being the number one beer-selling college stadium in the nation.
I mean, against
so take a bow,
Tennessee,
Nebraska.
So that's
Mississippi, like anything, like these big, I don't know, states that I would think Alabama that would rank, and we.
Oh, Alabama started
number
whining early on in the season after they lost a couple of games. Like, we're such a small school, and we can't pay players, and we can't NIL like some of these others. It's like,
come on.
Please.
Everyone felt so bad for Alabama in that statement that they put out.
But yeah, so to your point, I mean, Nebraska is a big drinking school, so maybe that is not seen other colleges, but it was just interesting because we think as adults, we've seen adults drink less, to your point. You know, you can't drink for, but she's not seeing it.
Man, I could drink 4 beers if I wanted to.
Okay.
Another thing that kind of, there's just so many things that went into that era in 2020. But when people stopped going to work and the government just started sending us checks for not working, I mean, basically just printing money.
Yeah.
The fallout of that is crazy inflation. And that's what happened. And we already talked about how tight it was for microbreweries anyway. That's really tough to overcome inflation like that. And then it gets passed on to the consumer. And I think you could do a search right now, Ben, but some of your most popular craft beers, a 6-pack's going for over $50.
No.
Ooh. Yeah, I'm not kidding.
Andy.
I'm not kidding. It's crazy. Like, I can't even... I saw some fancy ones, like those 4-packs for over $20. I couldn't do that. I can't make myself buy...
That's
beers
ridiculous.
for $20 off a shelf.
I would never.
Yeah, so I mean, then imagine, younger folks with less of money to play around with or whatever. I mean, I would expect them to go ahead and buy the $2 can of Busch Light too.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
And that's not even
Definitely
being frugal.
in college.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah.
That reminds me. We had a fun house in college. Our house was pretty fun. And the morning after, you could always tell what the brown box sale was at the grocery store, because that would be the
that was on the front lawn?
Yeah, those the majority of the boxes scattered throughout the house and the backyard were always whatever was on sale that weekend.
Yeah,
at the
right,
grocery
exactly.
store.
That's funny.
Oh my gosh, craziness.
Different times. Millennials, we're fun.
Well, and
fun.
Oh, we had a lot of fun. There's no doubt about that.
Right, but did you guys take the wine, like the boxed wine? Because this is what they do. You take the boxed wine out of the bag and just hold it up against somebody and push it, and then you take a drink.
What?
And then you pass the bag around in the parties.
My God.
That's like a college thing. So
Wine?
Wait, that's
Wine.
a college thing now?
Yeah, that's a thing now. So again, they're trying to think of new ideas that we did not do. Guys, that was not one of them. We did not take a bag and slap it. The plastic.
Yeah.
Think of the plastic wine bag.
Ugh.
And pass them around.
I'm not a wine person
neither.
anyway,
Boxed wine always reminds me of your mom, because it was like sitting on the counter for a month, and you're like, doesn't that go bad? Like, that's so gross.
No.
That's what I'm talking about with the alcohol.
Yeah. No, it's getting better.
It's aging.
Yeah.
It's aging.
I don't know.
But as we're talking about beer and regulations and stuff, are any of these breweries... Are breweries considered like hard liquor too?
No.
Okay, so I'm thinking of the,
Cut Spike?
No, the guys that do our meat upstream, they're doing, a hard liquor. Is that considered That's brewery, or what is that considered then?
Distillery, right?
A distillery.
Yeah, I suppose. I don't know if that's the same licensing or not. I wouldn't know.
Okay, so that's what I'm trying to think of. Yeah. Like, are they taking a hit?
Boy,
is that in the same category? Geez, I guess is my roundabout point.
I don't know.
We don't know.
Not sure what's happening with spirits.
Spirits, that's the better word. Okay.
Yeah. But I don't know. I think the back to the craft brew thing. I think as I think through it, coming of age and working and all these kinds of things, and like you said, after work going to the tap room or whatever, grabbing these 6-packs, whatever. I think it really was just it just worked as like a really good excuse to just keep drinking.
Yeah.
Because if you would have just stuck with like your standard, like your Keystone or your Bud Light or your Coors Light or whatever, if you would have just if you would have went to the bar every day after work and drank 6 Coors Lights, you're a drunk. Mm-hmm. But if you went to the bar every day after work and drank 6 different craft beers, then you're like you're doing something special there. You're like, you're sophisticated.
It's a Sierra Nevada.
You're more concerned with the flavors and the aromas and all the things than you are with getting hammered.
This is a South Park episode.
even though it's twice the alcohol.
Right.
True, because it would be like 6% on the board, or it would say 8%.
There's definitely a part of that, and I think that's why probably 80% of people golf. Like they suck at golf, but
love to drink.
Now I get it. Now I get away from home, get away from the wife, and I get to drink beer for at least 2 hours.
Except all the golfers, what's the number one golf drink?
Michelob Ultra.
100%.
Yeah,
and that stuff's water.
It's because Michelob Ultra did their marketing campaign for athletes. If you're an athlete, you can still drink Michelob Ultra and be skinny and get drunk. They are not dumb. That is why.
Well, they nailed it.
Yeah. They nailed it.
It was a hell of a marketing ploy.
Totally.
For some reason,
and it's in a skinny can, so it makes you a little more skinnier and girly.
For some reason, it's like so much more accepted that like if you're a Mick Ultra drinker, then you're just like
drinking less calories.
No, it's like you're just you're fine.
Yeah.
But if someone's pounding Busch Lights to the tune of what most of these Mick Ultra drinkers are pounding, then he's a drunk.
Right.
Totally, you nailed it. That's so true.
I mean, and I can't help it either. I'm a simpleton. If I look at a guy over here, regardless of what he's dressed in, let's take that out of it, and let's take his car out of it or his truck. But if he's drinking Keystone Ice, and I see he's at least had 2. And I'm going to look at him a different way than someone over here that I see has drank 2 Michelob Ultras.
Yes,
but they also. It's a stereotype because it's usually true. Like, you know what I mean? Like, I wouldn't be stupid. I'd be biased, but I'd probably be right.
Right.
The argument that I'm making is I think a lot of guys have figured out if I go the Mick Ultra route, I could still drink as much, even more, and people won't think as
They're
much
not
about
judging me as much.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying with golf. Like, I hate golf.
That's why you're starting to see some bigger dudes drink Mick Ultra.
You think so?
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Yeah.
Oh, no. It's wild.
It's all tough on the microbreweries, though.
Yep.
And I think I agree with you, Ben, in what you're saying, and just kind of figure out a way to get by and keep doing it. But that's not all bad. I really like that about millennials, where they were finding reasons, so be it a microbrewery, to still go out, hang out, converse with their buddies, their friends, their neighbors, whatever. Maybe there could be a better engine to it than a 5.8% IPA double hop or what the fuck ever. But no, the crux of it, though, I think it's better than what's going on now with all these extreme, when you talk about gummies and just sitting at home and sitting in front of a screen, being isolated. Another thing that's kind of going the opposite direction is this epidemic of loneliness. And I think there's something to be said where microbreweries are going down, loneliness is going up. I think there's a connection to that. And now, the one side isn't perfect, and there's a lot of reasons for the other side. I get it. But I think there's a direct correlation between the two.
It makes sense what you're saying, that like there's more of a social aspect in the drinking and the you know the hanging out after work for a couple hours or whatever.
And I was good buddies, and I won't out him here, but he's a straight up pussy. When we would go out, he would act like he's drinking his drink, and then he'd be throw him away, or he'd put him over here, and then he'd be like, "Oh, we getting another one." I'm like, man, I'm not even done with this one. I'm like, what about yours? Like, oh, I smashed. No, you didn't. It's over there.
Liar.
Yeah, you freaking liar. But we were still being social, going out playing pool. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. And even though it was a kind of a front on that aspect of it, we still use that as a reason to meet up.
Yes.
You know what I mean?
And let's be honest, right? We all know with drinking, you start loosening up, you talk more.
Yeah.
You, for some reason, think you can have more fun. And most of the time, people do. So there's that aspect of, like, people just want to cut loose and kind of maybe find an excuse. Is it bad? Yes and no. I mean, there's pros and cons, but again, it's a social thing.
Yeah.
So then when people are not drinking and they're around people that are drinking, you're not loosening up, or you know what I mean? There's that persona.
Yeah.
There's that, like, the other person's judging. I don't know. It's just a complicated thing.
It is. It serves as a social lubricant.
Yeah.
Even if it's not working on you, like you're not getting drunk, you still like give yourself permission to say something.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But that also feeds into the stereotypes we're kind of getting into. If I'm sitting there in my nice cardigan, in my work shoes, my wingtips, and I'm drinking an IPA of double stock, blah blah blah, I'm holding myself, in this industry is holding me to this standard.
Mm-hmm.
If I'm drinking a Keystone Ice in the black can, that's a different standard.
Right.
You're
probably in a garage.
Right? Exactly. So, like, I don't know. I think the craft brewery also, like, kind of keeps you in line. Like, dude, you're not getting smashed. You got work tomorrow. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Except most of the guys I know, we would be like, you'd have like 6 or 8 at the craft brewery after work.
You'd get to
and then
goes.
you'd go to someone's garage and then have like 12 more of like the regular beers.
Then the Keystone.
Right, that's what I'm saying.
Then one thing would lead to another. Yada yada yada. It's fucking 5 a.m.
Oh man. Yeah. Where's that self-discipline?
Right.
Yeah. So ultimately, locally, as we know of one craft brewery place that has closed. Is there more that I maybe don't know about, or this was just your stats you kind of saw?
Yeah.
This was nationwide.
Well, what really kind of hammered it home for us, and we've had Nebraska Brewing Company and their people on a couple of different episodes.
And they were a company for years. What?
They were one of the big ones.
12? I don't know. What was it? It was
a
while.
It was more than that. But they were one of the big ones, and just talking to people, just whether they're in the industry or not, like, it raised eyebrows. Like, oh my God, if Nebraska Brewing Company can't make it,
then we're smaller than them. We can't.
Yeah. How is the small brewery in Valentine, Nebraska, going to make it? Bolo Brewing. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And I don't want to speak for Nebraska Brewing and Paul and Kelly and those guys.
Kim. Yeah.
And Kim and Connor. But I bet you everything we touched on had an impact.
Okay.
On their business and their tap room. Think about how Kim, and we went to a couple of events there. Mm-hmm. She would straight up cater the food herself. Mm-hmm. They wouldn't order service out. Yeah. She would do it. Mm-hmm. She would go to Costco, get the meat, throw it on cookers, figure it out. And that,
they grinded. Yeah.
Exactly. So, okay, well, now you can't have events, right? For a year and a half.
Yeah.
Now
what?
That would be a killer. You know? And it was just it was really sad for me to see Nebraska Brewing Company go under. Mm-hmm. Well, they filed bankruptcy over the summer, and then they just couldn't make it work, and now they've officially closed. And bittersweet for me, I was at a gas station over Christmas break. We're going to a friend's house to play games, and I bought their last 6-pack of my favorite beer, their Cardinal IPA.
Oh, yeah. Mm.
And then I was at Walmart at the tail end of Christmas break, and they still had their regular Indian Pale Ale.
Oh, and you grabbed it.
I bought the last 6, so I bought Walmart out and Come and Go out of the last 6 packs of Nebraska Brewing Company.
It says online that they were in business for 18 years.
Okay.
Wow.
God, it is so sad. And it makes me go to, right? people know that listen to this podcast, the 50 Mile March, we always ended there.
Yes.
So actually our first meeting is going to be Saturday, wondering, kind of where that's going to end or how things will shift and be different.
Right.
But I know Kim's still a part of it, and it's just interesting. It's just sad. But again, it just couldn't make it. So, yeah.
And they're very innovative. Like even
sure.
the lemon rattler, that style of beer that's kind of made.
Good,
It was really good, refreshing, and I mean, after you were on a 50-mile march or a walk like that, I bet that lemon rattler tasted pretty good. That's what it was kind of geared for.
Right.
Yeah, and I know just in our area, I can think of 2 other, 4 total, but 2 other consolidations of
really?
small breweries.
Okay.
That has happened over the last couple of years. So there's some of that going on. There's big dogs buying people out.
Yep.
Yeah, I guess it's just kind of the cycle of those kinds of businesses.
More than anything, I think it is kind of cycles where in the early days, like the late 90s when it exploded, everything lined up really well, especially with the demographic of people coming of age to drink beer. And now it's the exact opposite. You're coming off of a really tough time, and Gen Z doesn't give a shit. They don't need to drink your beer.
Yep.
You know what I mean?
Yep.
Capital's tougher to come by. So.
And did we talk about that a lot more people are kind of starting to not drink? So did they have to shift gears to like NAs? Is that a hit?
Yeah, we talked about that a little bit.
I know, but is that a hit to a brewery?
I would think so.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, I mean,
so I think there's that we should touch on. And then also, just in general, there's a lot of businesses closing, period. So, I just think, God, they had a lot of things working against them.
People are spending a lot less money for sure. And just going out to things.
Yeah.
I mean, even our local, like, sports bars or small restaurants or whatever, like the places are empty all the time.
And I guess overseas it's even worse. Like it's basically financial suicide to try and open like a nightclub or a dance hall in like Europe. I heard like thousands of them are closing like every other week or something like that.
They play weird music over there anyway.
Well, I don't know how it goes.
Says the guy. What else are you going to dance to? You can't dance to like heavy metal rock.
And then there's like German words in the background, like they're saying things, and
du hast mich.
The lights everywhere and all the stuff.
That's called a rave, isn't it?
That wasn't in my. The craft breweries were more my style.
Well, they were playing country and oldies or something.
No, come on, like Post Malone. Something cool.
Oh, you're that hip? Yeah. Oh, okay.
Believe it. Yeah.
Oh my gosh.
I'm Eric Burgett hip.
Oh yeah.
Well, I personally, I being in small business, hate to see any small businesses struggle. It sucks for sure. But it does kind of seem like, things change, and there's a lot changing, and business is not forever. That's for sure. We're all subject to that. So I don't know. You gotta change. You gotta figure out how to do things different. And my suspicion is that's probably what the folks at Nebraska Brewing are doing. They probably saw the writing on the wall and they said, "This doesn't look sustainable anymore. We're gonna shift gears and we're gonna start doing something a little bit different."
Yeah. Yeah. Probably right.
Makes sense. But what else? Anything else on that?
No. Those are kind of the bullet points there as to why it took off and why it's coming down. And it's. For me, it's just sad to see. Like, you're a small business owner, and I look at it more from the social aspect of, man, that was a really nice gathering place.
Yeah,
not just me and my buddies, but so many other people. And it's not just Nebraska Brewing Company. It's just like you were saying, small restaurants, mom and pop shops across the board.
Yeah.
Right.
I just hate to see them go.
And I can't imagine. The last thing I was thinking about when you were saying that earlier is, I bet the margins are crap.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. You think?
That's why the plate of pretzels I brought up was such a big part of like them getting
They
by.
want you to get the extras because that's really where the money is.
Man, I feel like it might have been when we were talking to Cooper's Chase or like way back in the day. But it would be interesting to have somebody on who knows the inside on that, because I think with the games that these small breweries have to play to get their drinks into stores or into restaurants or whatever by way of those distributors and how all that works.
Yeah.
Like, it feels to me very similar to like the conversation we have about the cattle market.
Yeah.
And how there's only a few processors and they're controlling all the price and the producers aren't making any money, but they are. And like, that seems like that's kind of what the beer market is like too.
Yeah. Take the word out slaughterhouse or processor and put distributor or something like
right.
there is a gatekeeper.
And they control all of it.
Yeah.
Like they decide if you're going in somewhere or not.
Yeah, if they want to even put your 6-pack of beer on their truck or not.
Yeah, and part of that is the law.
Mm-hmm.
Like the brewery can't even just like go directly to say like a Hy-Vee or whatever. I don't know exactly how this works, but and sell directly, at least at a certain quantity.
In Nebraska, I think is one of the most stingy compared to other states.
Yeah.
But I know talking to Kim and others are like, we got to jump through some serious hoops to just get a 6-pack out the door.
Yeah, it definitely doesn't make it easy on them.
No.
Sad.
But anyway. All right, well, so what are you going to go drink next?
Well, I'm feeling like I should go have a Cardinal.
Yeah.
I got like
You still have a
saved?
couple? You better keep the can though,
I am
too.
I do. And this is, I don't know, once again, bittersweet. My when that news broke out about Nebraska Brewing Company was like in October or November, but they just got done doing their whole batch of my favorite beer, and that's that pumpkin ale, Wick for Brains. And so I already went in there and bought a flat 12-pack of it, and I saw that they had like 2 pallets of that left over when they closed doors, and they were just doing like a fire sale. So I went and said, sorry, hi, bye, giving everyone hugs on my way home from work after the news came out. And I bought another 6-pack or 12-pack.
Yeah.
And I thought, you know what? I bet I can go back there and get a case for like $3. It's just gonna, They sold it all.
Oh, really?
They sold that whole.
Yeah.
I bet everyone was coming.
Yeah.
But everybody hates pumpkin spice. Pumpkin spice. I'm like, all right, I'm going to take advantage of it. No. It sold out.
Yeah.
All right, well, I guess that's all we got on craft brews.
Yeah, I think you hit the nail on the head. Markets change, times change, people change, and there's survivors, there's winners and losers.
True that. All right, anything else?
No.
All right, well, have a good one. I'm going to close it down.
All right, peace.
Later.